Jojo dreams of mysteries untold, of the woman who lived in the stories of old. Maria, oh Maria, with eyes like stars so bright, guiding through darkness into the light. He hears her whispers in the moon's soft glow. In the secrets of the wind, her voice seems to flow. Maria Orsic, the world changer unseen. In Jojo's heart, you become his queen. Maria, Maria, rise from the past. With Jojo beside you, his legacy will last. Changing the world one heart at a time. In his dreams, here's your rhyme. She speaks of love, of unity and peace, of a future where wars and divide cease. Maria, guiding Jojo's heart so true, with a vision of a world that feels brand new. She came with wisdom, timeless and strong, telling Jojo the world we all get along. With every word, she lights his way. Maria, Maria, rise from the past. With Jojo beside you, your legacy will last. Changing the world one heart at a time. In his dreams, he is your rhyme. Through the veil of time, her spirit shines, helping Jojo see the world's inside. She shows him how love can break every chain, turning his sorrow into hope again. So here's to Maria, the mother of dreams, hope and love for the human race. Maria, Maria, forever stay in Jojo's heart, you're guiding his way. With visions of light and the world reborn, he carries your spirit from dusk till dawn. We're changing the world one heart at a time. In his dreams, he is your rhyme. For Jojo, a heart so true, with Maria Orsic guiding him through. Changing the world in her name, he holds her lights, igniting the flame.
Yeah, I got a lot of nasty habits, gonna die way too hard. Gonna make a paint of my Picasso out of a box of sidewalk chalk. I need a new occupation, I need to get some sleep. You're gonna tell me all my faults, I'll tell you the ones I'm gonna keep. You can't be anybody else for anyone. You can't be anybody else for anyone. You can't be anybody else for anyone. You can't be anybody else. And I love you, Maria's people, and we can't be anybody else for anyone because of the observer effect. When the right person observes you from a plane that is outside of time and space, in a moment that happened before you entered the matrix, you will be your true self. You'll be your authentic, higher, magical, powerful self. But until then, you can't be anybody else to anyone. It just won't happen. And I got a new pair of glasses you hope might change my point of view. Ja, ja, Marie, ja, ma, ja. Remember, recover, return. Remember, recover, return. Remember, ja, ja, Maria. Inhale to Big Lou. We give all our thanks and praise to the big man who rules and creates the most interesting thing that's ever happened in all the motherfucking worlds. The Earth hologram, the holographic Earth simulation, where we finally become Earthlings. Hail to his name, and hail to the beautiful Earthling Mother, like no other, the most beautiful Queen of Queens, daughter of the original Queen Donna. Hail, Kali Donna Lu. Hail, Kali Donna Lu. Opus, our day of Opus. And Ronald McDonald and the greedy, evil crew is going to seriously feel the Opus Day. And those who say they are light but are not will in a moment disappear, because back home someone hit delete and it's just a game. In the arcade of experience, the virtual reality in the mind of Lulu, Mithras, Lucifer, Odinja, Nana Shantagalinde Sete, Ayende Salongo She, to the bull in Taurus, who was willingly sacrificed by the two arrows of the Sagittarius twins. Heil, heil, heil. And may your beautiful name, Lucy Bell, Lucille, us. Eleusis, the goddess of Eleusis in the simulation, is Maria Orsic. She is the daughter of Isis, because she partakes of the sacred waters of the goddess Isis. She pleases her beautiful mother like no other daughter. And that is what makes the river Ganges flow and feed the ganja trees. Almighty, beautiful, lovely Sigrun, we hail you, our supermodel goddess. So beautiful that she can't be from this world. The one and only Siggy Sig, goddess of the Mississippi, the Isis. I am Isis, the Mississippi goddess. Beautiful Sigrun, Hegel Heil to you. May the star, the day star, brighten your world today, Siggy. We love you so much. And let's give thanks and praise to the gods of this world. And I know it sucks, our people, that it doesn't feel good. This isn't our home. And of course, that was the test. is Maria said to me 14 years ago, well, Jojo, if you can be happy in Christian hell, you can be happy anywhere. And that's the point, Jojo. The whole point is to enjoy yourself, through the work of the true self. Enjoy that. And that is how you practically know yourself, is you enjoy the art of the true self. And, that's why it's the Antarctic and Arctic and Antarctic, right? Good, good art and bad art, which is still art. It's just, we don't like it. Because there's no substance, there's no power. And we completely are aware and understand that people think the same of us. People in the process, in the church of the comic book, Satan, demiurge, Jehovah Satan, that, the joke's on you. They've convinced you that Spider-Man and Batman are real. And the tragedy is they merged with the Joker. That's how they're trying to scare you. Is, man, even the hero's evil. And you rightly should join us in saying, hey, fuck you. Fuck off. We're sick of you. Your music sucks. Your movies suck. Everything about you sucks. Because your motivation is always money. And that's the dead giveaway that they're trapped here in the Matrix. You are fucking trapped, Crowleyites. And laugh your fake laughs while in your heart you cry. Because you're no more happy than your slaves. And you are in a perpetual state of rage. Which, like Maria said, we reserve only for those who truly deserve it. And we won't fight with anyone else. What will we do? We will separate you from us as far as day is from night. We will suffer to be separated from you. Oh, Joe, aren't we all one? We're one in common makeup. We're energy. But individuation, if you're going to become an individual, obviously, that's the consequences. If you want to go back to, as they say, Big Buddha, lose your identity, melt back in. Oh, let me tell you, the whole reason Maria is speaking to you is because that is the path to repeating your life over. And it must be pretty damn meaningless and lacking substance, hollow. It's a hollow tree that you will agree, even though you are smart and you do know logic and you don't believe in bullshit, you'll still come back here and repeat, because if you don't start at the right place and understand the game, you will fail. It's like sending a alien out on a football field, and he has just shown up on Earth 5 seconds previous, and you're like, this is the fastest, strongest alien ever. We will definitely win the Super Bowl. Get out there and play. But he don't know the rules. He doesn't understand, so he just starts punching everyone and throwing people around. And you lost because you did not know the context, and you started at the wrong starting point. Where should we start? The moment before you were born. To understand this life, you must understand the moment before you were born. And your mindset of, there's various things, but a common mindset is, I can do this. I can do this. I can be a earthling. And the shock of, no, I can't. The wave of ice, cold ice, hits the newborn baby, and he says, what is that feeling? I am freezing. Who has me? Who has me? It don't feel right. And you say, I want to feel like home. Home-er. It's odd, you see. And immediately you, through the training of your mother teacher, father teacher, you say, 13 seconds after you were born, you say, and a nuclear wave of peace hits the room. And your biological mother and parent, father, don't know what this is. And start to cry. The sorrowful, joyful, joy-filled, sorrowful tears of knowing you've begun what might change you forever, might change your perspective, perception of who you were. And you're in the mystery of Isis. And Professor Carl Ruck, the great and honest one, has given us his life work, the goddess of the mushrooms, what was happening in the temple of Eleusis. Why did it work? Why did everyone who was anyone, travel to the temple and partake in the soma, the ancient plant mixture. Why is 5 a magic number? Why is 5 a magic number? Because there is 5 ingredients to soma, right? Which is atmosphere backwards in its own way. But that's what its meaning is. Who can change the atmosphere? Who's got the magic to change the mood? Who's got real essence power, huh? Well, they took 5 natural plants and pulled back the curtain of Isis. Lucifer's father, El. Well, that's not what history says. Lucifer's father, El, because he is his own father. And you will see how your own son is your own grandpa. Yeah. Because why? You're a world of one. If you desire individuation, which means to go there alone and face yourself. And the bluff is that you're a sinner. The bluff is that you're not all that. The bluff is you're not that beautiful, you're not that pretty, you're not that funny. People don't really like you, and that's why you have to put an act on, right? Because you're in the clown world of Ronald McDonald, painted face, clown face, jumping around with a butcher knife in his hand, stabbing babies and women and cats and dogs. And the good old military boys, they serve the troops. Like, hey, you don't understand what it's like to serve. Serve what? Protecting America, protecting your freedoms. Freedom from what? Freedom from who? You. That's the height of hypocrisy in America, is the very people who were stupid enough to join the military and murder other human beings. I mean, 95% of everything now is because of 9/11. Well, listen, meathead. The United States military, the Mossad of Israel, the British MI6, and the CIA is who you were murdering for. You really should shut up and fucking kill yourself and remove yourself completely from the energy field, because may the gods have mercy on you, but your energy is destroying my grandchildren's future. Because you're fake, you suck, you're boring, your music sucks that you like, and everything about your culture is actually the worst things about humanity, and that's why you're a religion-filled cultureless. You have no real traditions. Your traditions is to eat fake flesh and drink fake blood of a fake god that justifies you saying to people, yeah, I'm evil. but God forgives me. And this charade has been going on for 2,000 years or whatever, 1,700 years. And little do they know that the real God of Pisces is going to return to pass the staff to the real God of Aquarius. And before he does, he's going to take that staff and he's going to knock the fucking heads off of you meathead military UFC or whatever you are. I don't even know if I'm saying it right, you know. The new professional wrestling that you all think is real, that's how fucking stupid you are. As children burn, you're entertained by poor people knocking the fuck out of each other. You should be ashamed. You should be ashamed in the context that that's how you entertain yourself. You should be ashamed. Honestly. And because you're not, because you don't understand embarrassment, you don't feel it, you don't know what it means, is the very reason there's no redemption for America. That they wrote in their goofball book about another place and another time that it will become completely desolate. Well, the whole ritual is to reenact. And Aleister Crowley's idea was, hey, you know, the Bible judgment of Yahweh, let's reenact that in America. The fucking the little puppy of England, the dumb little child that does whatever we say, come over here and let me abuse you, you little idiot, you little brain-damaged fool. See, Irish, you're as dumb as we always said you were, right? That's why we enslaved you, because you're that fucking stupid. You did fight and get your own country, but you came back to suck our fucking cocks, right? Irish, German Americans, right? Irish, Dutch Americans, English Americans. You are the biggest fucking racial sellouts in the history of the world. The race called the British enslaved your ancestors, tortured our ancestors, did everything you've ever read about that happened to black slaves from Africa, they did to our people. And you know what your response is? Well, I want to be rich like them. So take it out, Britain, and I'll suck it for you. You can fuck my mouth until I'm dead. And, you know, with you, my people, let's say once and for all, you hypocritical piece of shit America, you are cursed for turning your back on George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, and Thomas Paine. You're going to fucking feel it no matter if you like it or not. No matter if you're 0.00000000001% responsible, you're still going to feel it. Unless this day you draw a line and speak out and say, you know what, fuck you, fuck your culture, fuck your thoughts, fuck your government, fuck everything about you. You are the New World Order. You are the beast. You are the government of that fat dick-sucking Crowley. And I only say that because he's such a fucking hypocrite, you know? And I'm tired, I'm tired of saying this. I live in America. Anyone that's tuning in for the first time, I live in St. Louis, Missouri, in the heart of America, in the heart of GMO, soybean, corn America, where every fucking person has allergies because we're breathing in the pollen of GMO crops, because the backbone, good people of America, sold us out for industrialized farming so that they could, be rich like the people on TV, and so they could go to church and look like somebody in their big fucking trucks and shit. This is what our children are going to burn for. And fuck you. I curse you. I fucking curse your money until it burns up into fucking ashes. Every last bit of it. All the wealth of America. The entire country is going to be completely destroyed by the people whose dick is in your mouth right now. As you suck their cock and please them, they're ripping the hair out of the back of your fucking head and have a giant fucking knife raised over your neck behind your head as you suck their cock. And they're about to just literally saw your fucking head off with a knife. And you know what the major curse was that was spoken on you? Ronald McDonald Clownface, someone sent me this. Before the election, he said, I could murder someone in Times Square and you'll still vote for me. You know, that was a magic verse to say, I know how dumb you are and how much you love money. You say you're saved, but I'm coming to prove you're not. Because what's interesting is, you know, this is his thing. This is their narrative. They're like, what's interesting is the hero has a shadow side. Batman is part Joker himself. And I can hear Maria saying, yeah, that's why you're so fucking boring. That's why you're so fucking unoriginal. Oh, evil's cool. You suck. You suck. I'm at a loss for words. And tonight's teaching in beautiful Mama Orsic's ritual is Maria Orsic and Sigrun in 1917 just had got it, you know, their schooling's a little different. It's like high school and college put together. So they just got out of school. And Maria had her certificate for teaching ballet. And Sigrun had her certificate as an official union musician, a violinist, and master of string instruments, and one hell of a drummer, Maria wants people to know. And they want you to know who they were in a relational timeline with Adolf Hitler. They want you to know what their generation of youth and becoming women, coming of age, they want you to know their story and how it relates to the previous older generation, which Adolf Hitler, in their eyes, was. Even though it wasn't exactly about age, it's more like if you were growing up in the 80s and you had a lot of respect for, San Francisco hippie music, well, you might be a little older even than someone, but someone who grew up in San Francisco in that scene would actually be, like your previous generation that you really admired and wanted to emulate, imitate, and take the best of, and then, create something new, right? This is how they grew up. Berlin was like a step ahead of us, she would tell me. And instead of us being, worshipers of metropolis, the whole city life, instead, it caused us to rebel and not, like she said, all the talk in elementary school, what you would call it, elementary school, JoJo, or middle school and high school was basically, let's be cool like the cool people in Berlin. Let's be cool like Berlin. Let's be cool like Germany. They're fucking rich. They got name brands. Seriously, nothing under the motherfucking the sun changes. Like she says, just different degrees. And she said, me and Sig would talk about how we didn't really like that so much, that look of clothing or that sound of music. And I remember Sig saying, hey, I've been listening to these weird radio stations in Vienna that play American black people music. And she said that was the first I ever heard of that we could even hear that. She is like, the only other way of hearing that was kids I knew's parents who were into it. And they would, this was like something to show off. You came over to someone's house, they're like, yeah, look at what my parents have. American black people music. Check this out. She said it was incredible, mind fucking blowing, because it was faster and wilder. It was like she said, it was our punk rock. For a 15-year-old girl to hear this like ragtime, pre-ragtime, even this like super early pre-jazz. And she said, oh my God, when we would get, and she said most of it was instrumental, but when we would hear someone singing in these new voices that wasn't opera, we would flip. She said it literally would send like a bolt of Vril through my body to my you-know-what. And like she said, Joe, I was 14 and 15. I was an absolute normal 15-year-old girl. Basically, all I thought about was dicks. But I harnessed that energy. But she's like, I don't think that I was any less wanting of pleasure than any other fucking person. Like she said, as far as I knew, I wanted it more. And me and Siggy would talk about, how dangerous if we did have one, how much it might invisibly motivate us, control us. Or she said, truly, me and Siggy questioned everything to each other. We felt the safety of complete open teachableness which adds, to the ability, the free expression of questioning every fucking thing that you're being told. Like she said, coming to age, becoming a woman, taught me how fake my mother was. And I didn't blame her. I understood. This was social Germany, to completely hide your love of pleasure. She said, I remember telling my mother when I was in college, we invented our own religion. At the center of our religion is self-pleasure. Not just knowing yourself, but pleasing yourself. And she said, Mother, doesn't that drive us to what is eternal, to what matters? Isn't our highest joy the orgasm? And she said, my mother would not look at me. It was like, don't ever say that we enjoy ourselves. And she said, Jojo, I'm telling you about the early 19s and 19 teens of Vienna, Austria. And she said, in the countryside, it was even worse. In the countryside was a fear that if you didn't conform to everything of the church, you'll starve to death. You'll be cut out of jobs, everything. You'll be cut out of everything. You are a curse on the land unless you worship Jesus. And she said there was a different sort of European Jesus, but its roots were Jewish, so where else is it going to go? And she said every bit of enlightened Renaissance would go straight back to don't touch it. You're evil if you touch yourself. You're evil if you have pleasure before marriage. She would tell me and Siggy used to say, we were born married. I knew you in the womb, little child. My daughter. And truly, over these 14 years, I've never seen two women who flow together so well and talk about each other so authentically. I'll just tell a couple of experiences I had in the last, year. I had one of Maria outside of the Vril Laboratories, Vril Propulsion Laboratories in Germany. And she was wearing her little army green suit with the purple stripes. And it's like a dress that goes past her knees, and it has like a belt. And it's real military looking. It looks like a uniform. And she was wearing that, and I seen her first from behind walking, and I was like, oh my God, you look older. And she was like, I'm 40 years old. I said, oh my God, but you look. I said, when I said you look older, I meant you don't look like you're 15, which she looks like a kid to me. And she's like, well, we're 30 on Venus. But I say to her, but you look less than 20. I mean, you look like a kid. She's like, yeah. But in this vision, I seen just a tiny bit of age in her, and it was so beautiful. And I liked that. And and she was, I was concentrating on what she looked like, and she's like, Joe, listen. And I seen someone, a woman in a dress, walking across like a parking lot to her, and she was standing outside of the building with her, Maria had like her arms crossed, standing there like waiting, and then started walking towards her, and they met. And when they met and hugged, like in the mushroom ritual, Maria said to me, that's my mother. That's my mother. And she said, Maria, I have to give it to you. Times I doubted, but truly, I've come here to tell you. And she said, I'm glad you're happy in Germany, but I've come here to tell you, truly, truly, my daughter, there's no one in this world that I've ever met like you. And she said, some of the things that you told me about what you and Siggy were doing and how you ended up in Germany and how you ended up at this occupation of building energy, motorless. Like she was marveling at the technology. And, you know, what she was marveling at was that Maria actually did something real in her shamanic practice, and wrote the specific instructions for a energyless vehicle that travels on the Vril energy that is absorbed, received, transmitted, and processed by the mind of the human being who sits in the driver's seat, so to speak, of the vehicle. And I seen a little tear come, and they were hugging. I seen a little tear coming down Maria's face. And that was like the day of reconciliation. And she said, I'm sorry, Mother, for all my burst of anger. And you know that I did not mean to ever hurt you. And my only aim was at something I didn't like in myself. So I'm sorry, Mother. Forgive me. I didn't know what I was doing. And she said, it was real. We were one again. And she said, I've said the worst things you could ever say to a person. Like, who are you? Who do you serve? You know? And she said, I had to really let my mother know I am not that child anymore. And I understand why you couldn't let the public know who you really were and what you really enjoyed and what you really desired, because you had my welfare in mind and my brothers and sister, and you were doing it for me. So I'm sorry, but I want you to know from this day on, I'm doing it for you. Right, Mother? She said literally the sun went over my shoulder and reflected straight off my mother's eye, and everything for 4.5 million years have been perfectly balanced. Now we're woman to woman. Now she tells me, now I understand everything you were doing on earth. Everything. The things I thought, where does this girl get the ideas that this is okay? She said, I came full circle with my mother and had her say to me, Maria, I do get it now. Maria, I do agree with you now. The purpose of my life is to enjoy myself by knowing myself and enjoying what my true self really does. Who my true self really is. That is the meaning of life. This circle of projection, realization, and enjoyment, pleasure. And another recent memory was Siggy came to one of our rituals, and I was out of my body with Maria, and she said, someone's coming soon. And it was like she just walked in the door of wherever we were, and she walked in. She was very beautifully dressed in a dress and like a long coat jacket, which she took off. And I said, Siggy, how are you? And she's like, so good to see you, little Jojo. Our Jojo. She's like, I love you so much, Jojo. She said, it has been a while. She said, I've been off with my Tibetan monk girls, teaching them how to masturbate and please themselves and enjoy themselves. Sex magic, and find their true love and make love with their true self. Their true love on another plane of existence. These Tibetan monks, we have our own secret cult on another level. She's like, I know thousands of them, Joe. To tell you the truth, she's so funny. She said, actually, what she said, and I don't know what to censor and whatnot, but what she actually said, because she's so funny. I said, where have you been, Sig? She said, Jojo, I've been off teaching my Tibetan monk virgins how to finger themselves to absolute completion and put a giant smile on their face. And me and Maria laughed and had a giant smile on our face. And she was like, no other work can a girl do for another girl, that's that oppressed. She's like, Joe, these Tibetan nuns, I'm saying monks, nuns, what am I saying? Tibetan nuns. She's like, Joe, they live the absolute boringest lives on earth. And they're told that they're evil, they're dirty. And I was like, I didn't know Tibetans could be mean. And she's like, oh, God. She's like, all they do is use the rules and shit against the people they don't know. And she's like, they're so afraid. She's like, they're just like Christians. They're so afraid of someone else enjoying what they enjoy. This fear of like, oh, well, everyone will start doing it. Everyone will be pleasing themselves, with their own stuff for free, too. God damn, this can't make money off this. The profitless energy of self-pleasure doesn't fit the New World Order. But into her mind, or into my mind, Siggy, as our eyes met, her beautiful brown eyes, when our eyes met, she projected into my mind. This is what I thought about Germany and Berlin. I seen her and I was like, oh, you're so beautiful. Walking down, like she said, walking down Main Street in Berlin. She had like some high black boots on, a little dress, like mini skirt looking dress. And long hair down almost to her butt. And she was like holding a bag in her coat or something. And she's walking down the street and this young dude came walking up to her. And I guess hitting on her. And she's talking German, but it's being translated to me by her. And she's like, get the fuck away from me. And he's like, you're looking good, something I bet you need, I bet you're looking for something, you need something. And she's like, I have no time for you. Get the fuck away from me or I will scream. And the guy like put his face right in Sig's face and like, you want it. And she was like, she stopped and she said, hey, motherfucker, I am a Nazi party card carrying. I have an official card. I will scream right now that you're fucking assaulting me and you will be taken away and put in prison. Motherfucker, get away from me. And it sent literal fear in me. Just watching it, I felt the lightning bolt, but this dude's face in real life just melted. And she said, that sums it up. I liked the protection over women that I was being given. I liked that life had become serious. And we were fighting for the lives of our entire land. The land of Germany, the land of Austria. Freedom. We were fighting the American Revolution against the backers of communists and the communists themselves who wanted what? To kill us and take our shit. That's bottom fucking line of every fucking war. Right? She said with her mind in a happy tone, I want people to know we weren't German sycophants. We weren't mindless fans of phantom nothing. And with my mind, I was like, you remind me of Maria. You're so Maria. And she's like, she's literally my big sister. I can't say everything she says. But they want you to know they didn't do it for Team Germany. They did it for the principles of freedom for the individual. She said, we did it for the exact same reason as Thomas Jefferson. We did it for the same reason as our brother George Washington. She's like, you know what book we loved? Thomas Paine's Age of Reason. She was like, oh my God. She was like, that just blew our minds. Because she's like, he's more famous in Europe. Why? For the rights of man. For being the dude, the man who stood up and said, hey, individual person, you're your own fucking being, your own world. There's no fucking God that created you. Get the fuck out of here. You're not a monkey either. What you are is you're a sovereign individual who rules himself from another plane of existence. And it's time for everyone to be free. And government's purpose is to protect the freedoms of the individual. Okay? There is no America when the government is violating the rights of the individual, because the government's purpose is to protect the individual against the mob called the police, the mob called the military, the mob called the government. Our own founding fathers were openly saying to you, we're wise enough to know from history, we've learned from history, that these are the crucial chains that bind the minds of men. And we are instead giving you the locks and keys, individual, and we're having you put the chains on the mob of government, the mob of police, the mob of military, any majority mob that would go against reason, that goes against logic, right? That would use force or fraud. And as we speak, all over the world, the supporters of the Zionist fascist regime in Israel try to logically justify murdering innocent beings, but they're real justification, but they don't want to wheel it out right in front of you. They save it for Sunday morning or Saturday afternoon in the synagogue. They save it, but the real reason they're doing this is because the demiurge, the satanic character known as the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, eats human sacrifice, eats the energy of fear and misery that is caused by killing someone's child or taking someone they love. They eat that, and that is the only justification for killing innocent people, no matter what you say. There's no justification except eye for an eye if they killed someone. But collateral damage is damage to your own credibility and your own inner code, and your true spirit is being unveiled. The mask is coming off that America believes in killing women and children for profit, killing women and children for business. That's why Ronald McDonald, the genocidal fast food of war, the murdering fast food gunman of the mobster commercial world, the Hollywood soprano mobster, complete fake script written by ridiculous dorks that joined and conformed to the apparatus of Western intelligence and mind control. The Trump people, you better come out of him or you will suffer the fate of fast food commercial profits over people, money over happiness. These are the people that put it straight in your face that we don't care about your happiness. Take this money and shut the fuck up.